Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus, Pimp Sunkiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, maybe, with a special little video that I decided to implement for y'all, okay? And in this video, I will be showing y'all some juice that I be making sometime. Now, this one gonna be a little different because I included some peppers in this juice. And it's a whole lot of going on. It's just, overall health and wellness. If you have a hard time consuming fruits by way of straight up eating them, or consuming vegetables by way of straight up eating them, you can juice some. Also, if you're trying to cut back on the artificial sugars of it all, you need some snack replacements, you doing a fast, things of that nature, these types of juices will be your friend. Now, you can use any vegetable you want, any fruit you want. You can add herbs, loose teas, all that. You can add whatever you want to add. But I'm going to show y'all what I had done did with mine. Okay? Now, me personally, I have a hard time eating in the mornings. Even though I can be hungry, stomach touching my bike, I have a hard time eating anything solid in the morning. So I be needing something to curve that. So sometimes I'll get a smoothie. Sometimes I'll get a loaded tea with some protein in it. Sometimes I juice me some produce. And some I do set specific intentions for, like using exclusively certain fruits or exclusively certain vegetables, to target specific things that I want to prevent or heal or detox, whatever, what have you. But for this one, it doesn't have a specific intent for me. I was simply using it as a healthy snack replacement, and for the fact that I wanted some juice and I needed some nutrition. Howsoever, I will give some brief descriptions of each fruit and vegetable that I did use and what their benefits are and can be. Now, as you can see in this picture, I have bell pepper. It's one bell pepper because I don't really like the taste of bell pepper, and I ain't ever had it in a juice, so I was doing a little bit of experimenting in this particular case also. And I also have some regular mini peppers alongside it. So peppers in general can be good for your heart health, potassium, vitamin A and C. Green bell peppers particularly can be good for vitamin E. The peppers are also good for helping with anemia, also preventing anemia. They're good for your memory, helping lower blood sugar. They have a lot of antioxidants, which is good for your immune support. They also are a good source of potassium. And something I want to point out too that I found in some research that I did, a lot of processed foods, processed juices and stuff like that, they tend to have dye in them, which is honestly totally unnecessary and a form of manipulation. Howsoever, things can be naturally colored by way of produce because produce has naturally fluent color, right? But also the colors of the produce that they have naturally can also have health benefits themselves. That being said, the red, orange, and yellow peppers have contents of their coloration that is good for specifically cancer prevention and eye health, just to name a few. And red peppers are said to have the most nutrition in them. They're said to be the most ripe and all that. Howsoever, all of them can be good for you and are good for you and deserve the praise. Now, like I said, I don't like bell peppers, and I really don't be too much liking the other peppers either. This is my first time tasting those regular peppers. I usually only like hot peppers, jalapenos, chili peppers, chipotle peppers, those types. So as we go through, you're gonna notice a couple of things that I do. Now you're probably asking, well, if you don't like them peppers, then why is you adding them and all this, that, and the third? Because, like I said, I ain't never had them in a juice. Howsoever, I don't like cucumbers either. I don't like to eat cucumbers, but I like what the juice from cucumbers does for juice overall. I like cucumber juice as an additive to regular juices, certain of the, juice combinations of fruits that I do like. So it be like that. You may not like the fruit or the vegetable itself, but you may end up liking the juice and or certain other elements of it. And sometimes, honey, honestly, it ain't all about what you like and what you want. Sometimes it's what you need. So it's good to train yourself to be able to accept and consume certain things that you may not like, but be willing to consume it for the sake that you need it or you could use it and or it benefits you. Therefore, you put yourself in a position to appreciate it, as I have and am here. now, now, as I said, I also got some cucumber here, which is good for weight loss, cancer prevention, bone health, diabetes management, hydration, heart health, skin, digestion, constipation. Okay, those two can go hand in hand a little bit. They also have a lot of antioxidants. They can help with your blood pressure. Okay, they can help with your immune system, your eyes. They are a good source of vitamin C, magnesium, and they can help with inflammation. And just in case you didn't know, bodily soreness, aches and pains, those types of things can also be considered inflammation. Now we also got lemons here, which are also full of vitamin C, fiber. They're good for weight loss, cancer prevention, kidney health, digestion, heart health, asthma prevention. They're a good source of alkaline. It's good for your immune support, your blood pressure, your nervous system. And lemons are a good way to help aid a detox as well. And they're also good specifically for curbing your appetite. A lot of things that go on with your stomach and your intestinal, digestive system and all of that, lemons are good for. And we also have limes here, which are very similar in their benefits as lemons. Some differences that lime have, though, is that they're good for vitamin B6. They have extra calcium, extra potassium, extra magnesium. They're good for decreasing obesity, preventing excessive weight, as in weight that can come from fat or weight that can come from excessive water being in your system as well. Limes are also specifically good for your hair, skin, and nails and the vibrant appearance that they can have. Okay, so if you want to give your skin an extra glow, help your hair get an extra glow and growth, limes can help aid in those particular processes and journeys. Limes are also a good source of energy and help cleanse your body and free your body up of free radicals and such. Limes also have more niacin, iron, and zinc than lemons. That being said, specifically as the niacin is concerned, if you have specific extracurricular activities that you be doing, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say specific. I'm just gonna say you got some extra curricular activities that you be engaging in. Okay, that could have any effects on your respiratory system, your heart system, mucus, things of that nature. That niacin in the lime, amongst other things, can help purge and cleanse all that out. Okay, it can help. Now, I also have some plums here, and those are the fruit that is chopped up and pitted down there at the bottom of the cutting board. So those are those little green plums. I usually use the fat purple plums. But I ain't had no more of them because I used them all. So I used some of the green plums from my daddy's garden. Now, plums are good for constipation, similar to prunes, okay? They're also good for preventing and lowering anxiety. They're good for preventing heart disease, preventing high blood pressure and stroke. They are full of antioxidants, and they are full of fiber, which can help slow down a blood sugar spike after you eat carbs and other stuff that might be high in processed sugar. They can also be good for your bone health. And they are a good source of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, vitamin C, A, K, and folate. And I also have two different types of kiwis here. I got a golden kiwi and the regular kiwi that most people know. And I do not know how to pronounce the technical term for that type of kiwi, but we're going to call it the brown kiwi. That's the simple term for it. And kiwis are good for vitamin C, copper, vitamin K, and digestion, weight management, blood sugar control, and they also support heart and eye health and a healthy immune system. And so, as you may notice, little key fact here, most produce that is green has a specific benefit, strong benefit towards heart and eye health, much in correlation with the heart chakra, which is green. Not to mention, there are certain types of heart problems that you can have that can also affect your eyesight and your eye health. So, just a little keynote there. Now, I do have some apples that were sitting over off to the side, chopped up already. And we know apples are a good source of nutrients, including fiber, vitamin C, antioxidants, which can help support healthy digestion, brain health, and weight management. They are also good for protecting against certain chronic diseases, including cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. And they can help your skin stay hydrated. And that can also double down to your vaginal system, helping things stay hydrated. So let me tell you about the peaches right quick, right fast. We all know, well, all of us may not know, but in case you ain't know, peaches are good for your sacral chakra. They can also be good for your root chakra as well. They're good for your butt health. They're good for your reproductive health, vaginal health, okay? Hormones and things of that nature. Sexual pleasure, all that. They can help with all those things. But they are also good for gut health. Supporting your immune system, of course. They have antioxidant properties. They can be healthy for your skin. They also are good for supporting eye health and helpful to your blood pressure and good to have in the midst of your diet and your fastings, especially being the fact that they can help relieve stress and anxiety and help improve your memory. And they can also help to prevent heart disease, cancer, and this additive of the peach is also another circumstance of me being willing to ingest things that I need as opposed to just what I want, because I don't really like peaches like that either. I like the flavor that can be extracted from peaches, but I don't really like peach. I don't really like a lot of things that are flavored peach either. So it's very hit and miss for me when it comes to peach, because everybody may not be able to smell it, but there's an element of peach that I can smell that is a little musty, that stank a little bit. And I'm very sensitive to smells, and it just be something that I can't get past all of the time. But that peach served a major purpose and benefits and in flavor in this case, much like the cucumber. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the juicing of it all. Now, there is that good old bell pepper and the rest of them peppers. And I took some little bites up at the tips of them just so I could taste those in particular by themselves. And they weren't too bad. I could tolerate them. They could be something that I could stuff with like some cream cheese or, you know, whatever, what have you, and just make some little snacks or hors d'oeuvres out of them and likely be able to handle them, okay? But that's beside the point. That's just a little tip. But I also tasted those peppers in particular by themselves so that I could know what they taste like by themselves, so that when I add all of the juices together, I know what I'm tasting on my palate when I'm tasting it. Now, again, for my own sake, I juiced the little green bell pepper by itself first. Again, so I know what that individual juice tastes like by itself. So I know what I'm tasting when I drink the entire juice. And I know what's hitting my palate when it's hitting my palate. Yeah, no? So it's just the chemistry of everything. And my senses, when it comes to taste and smell and things of that nature, are very strong and very sensitive. So while I'll taste everything in combination, I will also have a hyper awareness of what I'm tasting individually. So that's also why I did that like that. So there is me tasting that bell pepper juice by itself. And as you can see, I was not a big fan. But I decided that it would likely be a good complementary ingredient, especially once adding the other peppers and all of the other fruits that have a good source of sweetness to it. Because I don't like stuff to be too sweet to taste. So those peppers I hypothesized would be a good complementer to the sweetness that I had going on with the other fruits. Now, about that juicer that I'm using there. You see, I'm using that little black thing, right? To, you know, keep it tamed up in there. Because if you use one like that, you want to make good use of that little black thing, or that stuff will pop out at you and bust you upside the head. Now, look at those pretty colors coming together there. So cute. Now, notes. You see, you know, it's extra juice in there in comparison to how many peppers that I showed you in the picture. I actually added 3 more of those mini peppers into the mix. Another red, another yellow, and another orange. So that's why it's that much juice in there in comparison to the amount of peppers that you saw in the pictures and in the video. You may also notice the separation of the juice / water and the pulp of the peppers, okay? Stuff ain't always cute. All right. Now, you can mix that in together. That's why any juice that you get will often say shake well, because you got to rehabilitate it into itself. Now, understand too that just because it's not the cutest of what you're used to seeing when it comes to juices and things, especially those that you buy in the store that are processed heavily, doesn't mean that it's not good, okay, or beneficial or valuable, because a lot of us have been brainwashed in that way with the loads of artificial and processed sugar that they put in things, the dyes that they put in things, the preservatives and everything that they put in things. So don't be alarmed by what it looks like. This is Mother Nature's natural beauty here. But for real though, because honestly, this particular imagery here is much better for you than stuff that's loaded with dyes and preservatives to look real cute. Remember the statement, all that glitters is not gold. Now, like I said, that right there is the juice of all of those peppers put together. And I did taste it on its own. The red, orange, and yellow mini peppers definitely made it taste better for me. And I came to the same conclusion that that pepper juice would be a good complement to the sweetness of the other fruit juices, that it all will be combined together. Next, I juiced the apples and the peach chunks that I had there. You get another view of them before I put them in the juicer. And that is the result. Again, not the cutest, but also once you stir and shake that pulp back to the juice and the water element, it looks better. And regardless of the fact, when I tasted that on its own, woo of the child. So if you want to have a naturally sweet, natural juice, that apple and peach combination did the damn thing. Not to mention, one of the apples that I used was a green apple. So while it's quite sweet, it has a good tartness to it also. And in case you want to know what apples I used, again, I used a green apple, Gala apples, and one regular red apple. The red, the good red, what they call them? Good red good apples. The teacher apple. Now, I'm not gonna lie, because I decided to record this process at the very last minute. It was very spur of the moment, and I had to hurry up, and I was using one hand to record, and I really needed both hands to do the juicing of it all. I didn't, get videos of me juicing everything and all of the juices individually, like something about. But y'all saw the ingredients that I used, and y'all saw, some of the process and all of that. Now, this right here I'm showing you is how this juicer in particular filters the peels and everything that can't be juiced basically into the back of it. Okay, and just gives you, the juice that you're looking for. I use those remains. I have made a lip scrub with them, but there are quite a few things that you can do with them. You can make fruit leather with them. You can make skin scrubs with the fruit remains. But I also will give it back to God. I will pour water into that little black cup. Well, it's kind of a medium-sized black cup, if you will. But I'll pour some water in there just to get it kind of separated, if you will. And I just pour it into the backyard. It's good for the fertilizer, and it's a good spiritual offering to Mother Nature as well. Not to mention, if you have a garden, those remains can be good for your garden and facilitating the growth of whatever it is that you have in your garden. Now, each individual juice that I got from the individual fruits and vegetables and all of that, I stored them into the freezer and into the refrigerator just to, keep them cool and all of that, so that I ain't got to add ice and make it, weird due to the separation of the pulp and all of that. I just be finding that weird. If you don't mind that, that's on you. I'm a texture big person, so I didn't want to have to add no ice to it. So I froze them while they were waiting. They didn't freeze. I just made sure that they got ice cold while they were waiting to be combined, okay? And you can order the regular glass bottles to store the juice in, but I just save up bottles from when I drink Synergy tea, and I used those bottles. So yes, now for the combination of it all. I added the pepper juices first because that's the juice that I was using to complement the other juices, okay? It makes a difference. While whatever flavor / juice, that you want to complement, you can also add it in the middle if you would like. But I prefer to add it first and then put the other juices on top of it. So I did the pepper juice first, and then the cucumber juice and all of that, and then the apple and peach juice. And I mixed it all together. And you see how that pulp and that juice and water all came back together, and it looks better, okay? It looks better. Still may not be the cutest of what you're used to, but it looks better. And when you let it sit for a while, like for instance, you store it into the refrigerator, it may do that separation thing again. So, You just have to shake it up, stir it up, whatever, what have you, and it'll be back looking better. Now, before we get into the final taste results, I forgot to let y'all know that at the last minute, I added some white grapes, which are good for aiding heart health, antioxidants, anti-cancer benefits. They can protect against diabetes, lower your blood sugar. They got good eye health, okay, improve memory, attention, and mood. Good bone health. These particular types of grapes are also good for detoxing specifically. And they're also a good source of natural sweetness if you prefer sweeter juices that also have like a little tart to them. So they would have a similar effect as a green apple. Not as strong as a green apple, of course, but that sweet tart flavoring that a green apple can add to the juice, these white grapes can also have that similar effect. I also added some celery, and I know some of y'all like celery. Ew. Again, celery for y'all may be what cucumber is for me. Okay? So just remember what I said. But me personally, I love celery. And I love celery as a juice addition because they give a light sweetness and they are also a great source of fiber, hydration, potassium, antioxidants, and aid in your weight management, weight loss, okay? Clearing up stagnant digestive systems, okay? They are really good for your digestive system, specifically as it concerns loosening some things up and clearing out mucus, regulating your gastric secretion again, you know, the extra fluid that you need, and therefore clearing out excess water that is not benefiting you, and therefore replacing it with good active water that will benefit you. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you consume a lot of salt, sodium, or butters, things that cause mucus and other just mucky stuff to get caught up and stuck and stagnant in your digestive system, it helps loosen all that up and flush all that out. Not to mention, sodium and salt can cause excess water that your body will hold on to as a survival mechanism, thinking that it's for survival, thinking that your body is dehydrated, so it needs to hold on to that excess water. But the water just sits there, okay? Because it's sitting there, quote unquote, just in case. So excess sodium can send your body into survival mode to just hold on to extra stuff that it really don't need. And so ingesting celery can help clear that out and basically help rehabilitate your system to flowing the way that it needs to flow. Its natural, regular filtering system. And the ingestion of celery can also be good for helping reduce, prevent, and treat gastric ulcers. Now into the final results. As you can see, it all came together to be like this yellowy, orangey type of color. And it was very good, honey. It was good. Now altogether, it kind of tasted like orange laced apple juice with some hint of pepper. Not hot pepper, but pepper nonetheless, like a little kick, a little spike on the side. Individually, I tasted the peach flavor first, then the abundance of apples in their unison, and then on the back end hits that green apple that I put in there. Then like over to the side, I could taste that cucumber and celery. And over to the other side was the grapes and kiwis doing their things. Overall, the lemon and the lime were doing their things. And that combination, in combination with the apples, is really what gives it that orange juicy type of element, that orange juicy type of twist, specifically in unison with that green and gala apple combination. And on the very back end came in that pepper juice, which functioned exactly like how I wanted it to, as an aftertaste, complementing the flavors that's all going on as it's going on, but then specifically getting this spotlight as an aftertaste. Now, to a lot of y'all, that may sound weird, that may sound unappealing. You ain't got to add the peppers. That's what I did, because I don't like my stuff to be exuberantly sweet in taste. But if you prefer for your stuff to just be sweet straight up, leave the peppers out. You may even want to leave the cucumber out. You may even want to not use the green apple. You may want to use all gala apples, all red apples, or even yellow apples instead. You may not want to use the white grapes. You may want to use the red grapes or the Concord grapes instead, okay? It's just all about you knowing what satisfies your palate. But I done let y'all know what I did and what satisfied my palate. And this juice was quite satisfactory to me. And like I said, this video was done quite spur of the moment and at the last minute. So there were a couple of, fruits that you didn't get to see me juice, and what they look like after they've been juiced on their own, all this, that, and the third. But the next video I do like this will be better arranged, okay? But all in all, I hope that y'all were thoroughly educated and entertained. And with all that being said, y'all, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I'm thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you could be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for the next time. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.